man.
Boom. Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage. Couple of points. Tomorrow, I'm going to be dropping a recap of the Legacy Bowl. Tomorrow, we have the HBCU Legacy Bowl. So it'll be a quick recap of that. Who stood out to me? Even though I've been in the HBCU 3 times already this season, dropping out prospects, I'm sure I'm going to get at least a couple more tomorrow. I'm actually looking for some guys who don't play on South Carolina State. It seems like their whole team is there. So I'm just looking for that. We'll have a synopsis of that tomorrow. And then the combine starts next week. I've already started my rankings. Yes, you guys are still watching games. I already started my rankings. How funny is that? Oh, look to your left. 701 plays deep on an off week. I've been under the weather. Still the best beard on YouTube. Traits. It's also in genetics, right? My grandmother, God rest her soul, she gave everyone a nickname. And I've been like that my entire life. Everyone got a nickname. One of my best friends, I've known him 30 plus years. I got him in my phone as Alexa. Now he's a guy, but I have him in my phone as Alexa because, ask him who built Stonehenge. He'll tell you. Ask him, what's at Area 51? He'll tell you. Ask him who built the pyramids. He'll tell you. Ask him anything. Like, I'm like, give me the lottery numbers. He can't give me that one yet. I have another kid, straight fucking train wreck. Train wreck. Yet, how can I say this? He's been in my phone. I went to high school with the kid, bro. I went to high school with him, played ball with him all year, and then worked with him for 20 plus years. I'm gonna skip him. But long story short, I got nicknames for everybody. But nicknames are also a good way to talk about people incognito, if you're out in public and stuff like that. Or just, and then people don't know who you're talking about real quick. So, Zach Martin retired. I get it, man. He had a good career. Ring of Honor. Is that what it's come down to, people? I don't know, man. I don't know about that one. But Dak Prescott. Forget Randy Orton. You guys know I'm a wrestling fan. And Randy Orton wasn't the original legend killer. That was Larry Sabisco. Because I think at one point he beat Bruno Sammartino. So he got that nickname. But I'm sure even before Larry Sabisco, there was a legend killer. Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. He wasn't the original Nature Boy. That was Buddy Rogers. Was it the Nature Boy? So, also too, man, you can't steal people's nicknames too, man, and then try to use it. Like, well, wrestling's a little bit different, use it as a gimmick and shit. But good evening, Charlene. Still the best draft guru. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So Dak Prescott, Randy Orton. Dak Prescott is the original legend killer. We've spoken about this, so gonna make it quick. We could talk wrestling, we can talk drafts, we could talk anything for a little bit, you know. But Dak got handed it in, I guess, in Dallas fans' opinion, a bunch of legends and legit. Dak got handed Des Bryant, Jason Witten, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, got handed a Zeke Elliott. Bro, there's Dallas Cowboy fans that say Ezekiel Elliott is like the second best. This just shows you how much they don't know anything about football. There's Dallas fans that say Zeke's. They put Zeke as like the second best Dallas running back ever. They've never heard of Tony Dorsett, I think. A lot of people in this world don't realize sports existed before you were born. Then, like, not to say that, Lamb's not going to be like, a legend, but, Lamb got some, spunk to him and stuff like that. But from now on, his new name, the Legend Killer, bro. Dak Prescott is the type of person that could fuck up 4 dudes on a bachelor party going to the Playboy Mansion for the weekend. Legit. He'd fuck that up. He'd get nervous and back out for the weekend. He would. Just simple as it is, man. He needs a first round draft pick. Could he win a Super Bowl? I still say he could. I've never denied that. But he needs the 1985 Bears or the 2001 Ravens defense. And he needs Michael Irvin, Randy Moss, and Jerry Rice. He needs a Tony Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp, a tight end. He needs an Emmett offensive lineman or a Marshall Faulk. He needs the Great Wall of Dallas in front of him. Can he win a Super Bowl then? Absolutely. Absolutely he could. I've never said he can't. Worse quarterbacks have. But they were in the perfect situation. And we all know Dallas is not the perfect situation. And yo, you could just tell by, bro, Romo, bro, I've called, since Romo stepped into the league, I called him Uncle Rico. That's from the Napoleon Dynamite movie. Bro, he's Uncle Rico. That's who Tony Romo is, man. So I make fun of. I do give everyone nicknames, man. But Dakota, he's legit. The Legend Killer. Also, too, he got more bodies as head coaches. He got more bodies on his coaching list. That's a long ass list, man. Long list. It is what it is. This is a draft channel. It is what it is. So we're 700. I apologize. Today I didn't drop a sleeper. I could do that in a second, in a little bit. I'll sign back in. Well, I'll just wait till tomorrow. Like I said, I'll be on tomorrow after the Legacy Bowl ends, dropping some notes, and then like I said, the rankings have started already. Oh, listen, you never stop watching it, but I have a big up. How ironic, though. How ironic. I'll show you all my books. Hold on. Now you got this nerd, Daniel Jeremiah. You can check it. It's on my channel. It's on my channel. It's in my notes. Hold on. It's only one of my books. Hold on. There's my three others. I legit have 5 notebooks of players. Trying to find it. Long story short, I'll get to it, but it's on my channel on the Ohio State or my first top 5 running backs. It's on my channel. Back in May, I put down Trevon Henderson in my top 10, in my top 5. He was in my top 5 at running back in May. Top 5. Ohio State, he's only has like 55 touchdowns in his career. It's on my channel. You can pop it up. You can just look under the videos, and it's in my notes. And now, all these guys playing catch up. The so-called professionals on television. Yes. They're all saying running back Trevon Henderson out of Ohio State is going to be a first rounder now. Wow. That's something, bro. I said that in May. What do you need to watch film for? Listen, I watched every single one of their games this year. Are they on my team? No. Jonathan Martinez, boom. I wish I knew about your channel sooner. Well, I did. I started. I had 2024. I ranked last year's class. It's on it's in the community section. All my rankings, sleepers, mock drafts, and then I didn't start dropping videos until like the end, until May. And my videos, as soon as I started in May, it was all about 2025 draft picks. But my top 5, I had Trevon Henderson, I had Junkins. Okay, but this was my top 5 original running back, top 5. Quishad Junkins, Trevon Henderson, Kyle Monangai, Singleton, and Allen. And Katron Allen and Nate Singleton got a sweet ass NIL deal. And they're smart enough to know that this running back class is, they're calling it generational, and I hate that word. It's just probably the best running back class ever. So they taken the bag and they went back to college. Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen from Penn State. But that was my original top 5 running back. And how ironic. Now this is the Kuipers of the world, the Daniel Jeremiahs, McVeys, whatever you want to call them. Fifth quarter Cowboy was in the house. What's up? What's up? They're all saying Trevon Henderson is a first round running back. And I had him in my top 5. Bam! In May. Because if you watch the kid play for 3 years in a row straight, hypothetically, you don't listen, there's always going to have that new guy come on the scene like a Caleb Johnson. Do I love Caleb Johnson, running back, Iowa, bruiser? 100%. Is he a one-year wonder? 100%. So, like, I'm not one of these guys that gives you I give you the good and the bad. But I give you good and bad. But it's ironic. But once again, I love being that guy, bro. I'm not like Stinky Foots of the Gooch that'll like playing catch up. Come on, bro. But this is what I do, and that's watch football. So I'm sure tomorrow I'll have like a good 5 to 10 more prospects, at least, with the Legacy Bowl. And then the combine starts. But to be honest with you, unless bro, I'm not gonna let someone's medical sway me, bro. Perfect example, I think it was 2021. Tennessee had a guard, Trey Smith. And then they were bullshitting. They were saying he had a medical issue. This kid was a straight beast, man. Said he had. I mean, it was serious, but it said blood clots. They said he went in the 6th round. Bro, ridiculous, man. To the Chiefs, and this dude is mauling people. And I'm not sure if he got, like I said, once, if you're not on my team, I really don't follow you no more. I don't know if the Chiefs did give him a contract, or I could have swore they did and made him the highest paid guard, or he's due to be a free agent after the season, and he's going to be the highest paid guard in football. How does that feel, man? Yet you passed him over because you're a medical team. You're all you billionaires that have a staff of Dr. Feelgoods on call. Some people look at that. Passed on him, on Trey Smith. Guard at Tennessee and a guard at the Chiefs. Nate J. Graham, what's up? Thank you for jumping in the chat. Listen, man, we could talk about anything, man. Just wanted to, like I said, man, Dak's new nickname is the Legend Killer. Zach Martin retired. I believe we got 3 more years of Zach Martin's contract on our books. Even though in 2023 I got, was it 20? Yeah, it was 2023. In 2023, I got basically, how dare you say that? I got ostracized for saying, do not give a declining, older Zach Martin a new deal. And it was like, how dare you say that? It's nothing personal. It's business. We have a team, a young team with a lot of mouths to fill. So why would we want to give a older, declining player a new deal? And so he stood out on the sidelines and stood there. And Dallas just redid his contract, kicked more money down the road. All the idiot content creators were like, bravo, bravo, great. All the fans. Now, these are the same fans that when they opened that door first day of the season and they all charged in like it was Black Friday sales, those are those fans. They were like, yeah, yeah, yeah. How dare you say anything about Zach Martin? Uncensored cowboy in the house. So thank you for jumping in. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so now for the next 3 years, we got money on the cap for the great Zach Martin. Would you have given Diggs a contract? Yeah, yeah, I would have. I would have. But I think it was a fair deal at the time. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't remember if the business decision came before or after the contract. And when I say business decision, that was the game against San Fran where he could have went after Kittles and like he didn't do anything. Uncensored, you had to pay him at that time. He's going to need a restructure to stay. I don't see Diggs staying, to be honest with you. I don't. Don't. Listen for all the Dallas fans. But we could talk about anything. Draft, well, bro, draft, free agency, wrestling, marital problems. I also could do the ladies' man segment. Showing my age, man. That was a funny ass segment from Saturday Night Live era, man. Old school Saturday Night Live. But I'm a retired ladies man. But we could talk relationship advice. I could give you. Do anything, bro. This is YouTube. Yeah, I would have. It was a fair deal. I think you could have got him a little bit cheaper, but he probably had his brother in his ear telling him what to pay him, not to accept nothing less. And a lot of these guys don't realize 100. Let's just say, hypothetically, 90 million in Texas. That's like pay wise. 90 million, getting paid 90 million in Texas, that's like getting paid 120 million in New York or New Jersey for tax purposes on what they're going to take from you. And then, like up here in the Northeast, you have what's called a luxury tax. they actually have a tax for the guys that play sports. So I believe it's either 13 or 12. There's either 13 or 12 states that have no state tax. If I was a college kid and going to be on an NIL deal, I want to go to a state where there's no state tax. But you don't think about shit like that when you're 19. I get it. But you should be having someone in your ear telling you that. Unless that school wants to pay you double to make to offset the difference. It's business, right? Not personal. He was paid after the San Fran game. Oh. Yeah, but all I'm trying to say is they always start the season with half of their. They always start the season okay, but every other bonus, workout incentive, all that stuff, and I'm sure Dollar. Okay, perfect example, man. If I want to get around that, I put give me a 6 million. Give me like how can I say this? More contract related incentives versus the games if you want to go around the state tax. Because perfect example, if you go, you know, you give me a $3 million bonus for work, just showing up to work in Texas to lift weights. That's how you're going to get around the tax. You are going to get taxed on the away games, only certain away games. You might be lucky enough to play some of the away games. Okay, perfect example. Dallas, right off the bat, 8 games, no state tax. Now we're going to add 10 because you got an away game at Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, no state tax. So right off the bat, we're up to 9 games, no state tax. And any other state they can go to, which is it goes by the schedule. So 9 games out of a 17-game season, there's no tax on your. So, like I said, and there's ways to get around it. Listen, man, these guys, and I'm sure Jerry Jones has figured a way to get around it. Yes, salaries, signing bonuses. Yeah, you're 100% right. Las Vegas is tax free. Huh? PA has no sales tax. Yeah, it's like Pennsylvania. I think it's New Hampshire or Vermont. Don't quote me. Florida, Texas. I could be mistaken. Illinois, maybe. I could be mistaken. I know. I'm Alaska. Who the fuck wants to live there? But I'm just saying, Alaska is tax free. Big states. Florida, Texas is tax free. Pennsylvania, Tennessee is tax free, I believe. Usually Commonwealths are tax free. But like I said, man, there's ways to get around that. Yeah, you had to pay Diggs. You had to pay Diggs. But I got one. I got one for you. When Philadelphia and Green Bay played in Brazil, how the hell did they tax that game? They all got paid in big booty Latinas and powder they all smuggled back. Nah, I'm just joking, bro. Joking. Yeah, but I would be interested to see like what in taxes they paid. Like what's the conversion rate in Brazil? You know what I'm trying to say for for that game. And also these like all these other country games. I would like to see what how that's worked out, you know. Yeah, PA has no state tax. Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota. I knew it was one of those Dakotas. Washington, Wyoming, Tennessee, New Hampshire also. Yeah, it's like 13. Probably no state tax, but US has a tax code for Americans that make money overseas. That's insane, bro. Bro, you're in another country. You know what it is? There's a saying, bro. You can't beat Uncle Sam, bro. You can't. Where's George Washington, bro? You want to tax me? I mean, bro, you're in another country, work, and you're being taxed. That's insane, man. Yeah, but it's odd Friday night, doing taxes. But we could talk about anything, man. We could talk draft, free agency, wrestling. I actually got around to watching the Iron Claw. Uh, was a little disappointed. They cut out pretty much. They cut out pretty much Chris Von Erich completely. That was one of the Von Erichs, the youngest brother. Uh, I don't know how, but I think it was whoever played Kevin or Mike. Some reason how they made him double the size than Kerry, even though Kerry was the most muscular Von Erich by far. That just didn't make sense to me. Uh, they really never covered the David Von Erich incident in Japan. I, I'm going to be honest with you, and it was like a dark movie. They didn't even cover the Chris suicide. Well, they didn't even, and then they also had a younger brother who died by he got electrified, electrocuted. That was if you saw the end of the movie when he goes, "I walk with my brothers," and there's a baby. That was the younger brother who died. The baby, he was a baby, so they didn't even cover really two deaths, to be honest with you. And uh, there was so much to talk about, to be honest with you, so much to cover. Yeah, Pentiment WWE is different. I've been a fan of Lucha Underground when he was there with Vampiro. Penta Pentagon Junior. He's a legit good wrestler, man. I first noticed him, like I said, Lucha Underground when he would add it with Vampiro. He's good. I don't know why he left AEW. I don't know if he had issues in AEW or he had the Young Bucks probably burying him. Rock is on SmackDown right now. So The Rock. I mean, listen, man, he has The Rock. Good wrestler. I ain't gonna take anything away from him. Great on the mic. You know, let's get back to the Iron Claw real quick. The Iron Claw, and I hate Netflix. And why, might you ask? Why? Why? Best being on YouTube, even sick on an off week. That Von Erich shit, the Von Erich stuff was way too much to put into a movie. Way, way, way too much. It should have been like a 10-part series on Netflix. It's either that or it's a 6-hour movie. Because I think the original Godfather was like 4 hours. Casino was a long ass movie. But the Iron Claw, to do it justice, it had to be. It had to be like that's one of the reasons I don't like Netflix. Is if I do see something I like, and then there's like 10 episodes, and I'm like, I'm watching 10 episodes in like one night. I'll binge watch it. That's what I'll do. That's why I don't like. I'm like one of the only dudes in the world that'll go on Netflix and find nothing to watch. Usually, but the Iron Claw should have been a series. Lucha Underground is amazing. Yeah, I'm sure. No one. I know why Lucha was probably great. Even I swear to you, man, I've dropped crazy money on tickets, man. Yo, Summer Slams in the Barclays in Brooklyn and New York, and I swear to you, I've taken my sons to indie shows. I've been TNA front row with my sons, bro, where they always came out on TV. Uh, I've taken my sons to independent shows where you're right there. You're so much closer, smaller venue. And my sons have told me, like, bro, we had a great time. We had as good a time tonight as we had at the much bigger Raws, SmackDowns, SummerSlams. Because for like a point there, SummerSlam was in the Barclays in Brooklyn like 3 years straight. I don't know what that was about. If they were trying to like build up the Barclays, I don't know. But yeah, but like Lucha Underground, like smaller venues, more in person, you have just as fun. I also hear that MLW, I think they run a big show in Mexico City once a year. That's really, really good. Announced Mania next year in NOLA. Yo, legit, the last WrestleMania I watched was when they just buried Sting and the NWO. That was the last WrestleMania I watched. I'm like, nah, I'm good. The only good thing about Mania now is at least Triple H, he has a different role and he can't write himself into the main event for every single Mania. That's which he's done his whole entire life. Triple H is the Kevin Federline of professional wrestling. Who is Kevin Federline, you might ask? He's the nerd, roadie, or whatever he was, who married, I guess, maybe the normal Britney Spears 20 years ago before she went crazy. Honestly, she probably was that batshit crazy back then. We just didn't know about it. But if he didn't marry Britney Spears, you wouldn't know who Kevin Federline was. That's Triple H. If Triple H doesn't marry Stephanie McMahon, you don't know who he is. And he doesn't get a chance to write himself into every WrestleMania. Sorry. That's my opinion on Triple H. Not a fan. Dusty versus Flair, Hogan versus Savage, Dundee, Laura, old school, bro. Birds. I was a big mark for the Freebirds, bro. I was as a kid, man. Yo, my youth, I would never take that back, man. Growing as a kid, wrestling on a Saturday, they legit was wrestling from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturdays. It was WWF at like 9 a.m. Then maybe around 5, 6, you had World Championship Wrestling. That was like Gordon Soley, Ric Flair, Piper, the Four Horsemen, Road Warriors, stuff like that. Then after that, World Class came on at around 10 or 11. World Class was Devon Eriks, Bruiser Brody, Abdul the Butcher. Bro, you could look the numbers up. That came on Channel 11, like 11 o'clock at night. And they used to blow Saturday Night Live out of the water. So as a kid, and then you would catch like AWA, that's like the Midwest. You would catch that during the week on ESPN and stuff like that. Like that was Vern Gagne's territory. Puerto Rico. That's crazy. 40 grand for 4 seats. But okay, check this out though, Uncensored. This is WWF, and this is the game they play. Let's just say, hypothetically, WrestleMania was in West Virginia. Granted, West Virginia doesn't even have a BMW dealership in it or a Mercedes dealership in it. But if WrestleMania was in West Virginia, those tickets would be $1,000. That's what WWE does. Even for their Raws, their SmackDowns, try to buy those tickets for New York versus Pennsylvania, Virginia, upstate New York, Connecticut. WWE prices their tickets versus for the location they're at, which I think is kind of douche. I get it, cost to live and stuff like that, but 10 grand a ticket, front row. Nah, I couldn't do that either. I'd rather spend that money in the Super Bowl. That's OG in the house. OG, can you hear me? Who's your favorite wrestler? OG, uncensored. H has a pacemaker. He's not able to wrestle anymore. Well, when you do juice for like 40 years straight and never go off, and human growth hormone causes forehead to come out. That's pretty much what happens to you. I remember when Jake the Snake had Damien lock on to Macho's arm one Saturday morning. You say that, Jonathan? One time it was supposed to happen. And Macho was like paranoid. Macho was like, "Oh, so you're telling me this is real, right?" Macho made the snake bite Jake the Snake Roberts in the locker room in like a closed off area. He goes, "Now you better stay here 10 minutes," and he watched him, make sure he took no pills, medication, antidotes, so whatever. So he had the snake bit Macho. But then there was another time listen, I'm sure there was a million Damien the Snakes. There was one time he had Damien bite Macho. Macho had 104-degree fever, and the snake died. That, but that could be also from the snake biting Macho and the snake getting fucking sick from Macho for what he had in the system too. So that could go both ways. But Macho Man did get sick one time from getting bit, man. I told Cowboys Corner one time, man. I go, as much as I am a football fanatic, I'm a wrestling. I'm into wrestling the same way. Now, it's just tough now because yeah, they definitely go to the big cities. That's where the money's at, man. That's definitely where the money's at. Uh, funny. Well, I live in DT. Out of All right, you like the DT out of Kentucky? That's Deion Walker. 6'7", 3. Now I know it's amazing. This is why like you don't know shit. Like it's amazing. He grew an inch. This kid now. Well, I guess we'll find out next week. But the only Walker, Kentucky, for the last 2 years was 6'6", 360. Now he's 6'7", 360. Some people got taller, other people got shorter. But now they're saying he's 6'7", 345 ish. He's going to diet himself down for next week. Out of Kentucky and big, I've been going over linebackers and quarterbacks tomorrow. Listen, man, I, I, I don't see Dallas. Listen, I got no problem throwing a day 3 pick at quarterback. I don't. I just don't see Dallas doing that, man. I don't. I don't see it happening. And I'm also going over backup. Yeah, no, I hear you. Backup quarterback. We don't have a backup quarterback. OG, we don't have any running backs, OG. OG, we don't even have a defensive line. So we have no running backs. We have no defensive line. I think right now, backup quarterback is probably the least in rankings that we could put on this team, to be honest with you. Now, if this team was loaded at every position, backup quarterback is a huge, very important need. But the fact that we don't even we're missing a half of a team, I think backup quarterback is like very low on the needs list. Just because, let's be honest, we have no running backs, none. We have no, we have no D tackles, no D line, none. We really don't know what our O line is. Safeties, we really don't have any safeties. So I just don't think backup QB is high on the list. Jonathan Martinez. One linebacker. Yeah, I agree. Definitely need one linebacker. Perfect world. Start dropping some names. Names. If I can go, if I'm lucky enough at 12 to get Mikhail Williams, 6'6", 260, play D tackle and edge. He's only 20 years old from Georgia Bulldogs. If I can get him at 12, I snatch his ass up. This kid is a freak. He does what he wants when he wants. And if you can, and he's only 20 years old. Bro, he ain't even done growing. He's not done growing. At 250 to 260, he's going to have to play edge in the NFL. I think worst case, he ends up 310 and he's a Chris Jones in the middle at D tackle. His ceiling is so high. So high. I'm just going to give you like, I don't see this happening either. At 44, if Alabama linebacker Jihad Campbell, 6'4", 250, if he slid, I would jump on him in a heartbeat. We need a big linebacker. I'm tired of 220-pound linebackers. And he's a freak. And ironically, Jihad Campbell out of Alabama. What state do you think he came from? Ironically, New Jersey. It's amazing the talent comes out of the state for being such a small state. And if somehow I can get Alfred Collins, defensive tackle, Texas, round 3, or a really good lineman, round 3, that would be like a perfect scenario. First 3 picks, trenches, trenches, trenches. Yeah, Jay Graham, you know it. Jihad Campbell, South Jersey. I got a whole bunch of this week. I'll be throwing a load of daily sleepers at you. But Mikhail Williams, he's my number 1 edge, and that ain't going to change. Abdul Carter's a linebacker. But maybe when people like listen to all these other content creators and then see what Micah has done and the problems Micah has had, will finally realize that Abdul Carter is a linebacker and a third down pass rusher. Yeah. I watched him play in high school also too. He went to St. Peter's in Jersey City. Mika Fitzpatrick. Yeah. There was a game. I actually worked it. Notre Dame. I know Notre Dame was coming after him. The Notre Dame coach Brian Kelly was there scouting him in person. It was a game I was working at. First play of the game, they were playing the team he was on, St. Peter's, was playing a horrendous team. Like the first play of the game, he just took back like a 70-yard interception for a touchdown. But yeah, he's from Jersey. Uncle Rico. That's Tony Romo, bro. Uncle Rico got screwed, bro. It's all about giving an opportunity. They took it away from him. He could throw a ball over mountains. Thank you. Glad you noticed it. I have a custom Dallas Cowboys jersey called Ice Cube with the number 9 on it as well. Yeah, man. Uncle Rico, listen, like I said, it's a Friday night. We could talk wrestling, we could talk football, we could talk drafts. Uh I don't want I really don't want to talk free agency because what's the purpose? We're not gonna sign anybody. So I mean I did see something somewhere where Dallas wanted to sign Nick Bolton, former Missouri linebacker. He's been with the Chiefs, I think, but I can't see going out signing a linebacker in free agency where you have no D tackles, to be honest with you. I understand why the NFL union does it because they want the veterans to get the majority of the money. But in the perfect world, not a perfect world, but an easier world would be the draft, then free agency after. But then I guess you wouldn't be seeing these big contracts. And then the NFL Players Association wouldn't be getting their crazy dues out of it and stuff like that. And I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm not going to badmouth the NFL player, their union. But their union sucks. I'm sorry. I don't want Gentry. Mike, what's up, Mike? I don't want Gentry. He's going to be set up to fall on this horrendous O line. There's bigger priorities. Yes, I agree. There's bigger priorities than running back. 110%. Man. Gentry can fly. I'm not doubting that. I'm not saying he's a bad running back. No. It's just I don't see how Austin Gentry helps Dallas when you have so many holes in the trenches on the offensive line and the defensive line. Look at last year, perfect example. We paid Dak, they paid Jerry the Drunk, paid Dak Prescott like 250 million, 240, whatever. And we're gonna draft a rookie left tackle who only started 13 games at tackle at two different colleges because Tyler Guyton went to Texas Tech, where he started 2 games at tight end, then transferred to Oklahoma, started 13 games at right tackle. And we're going to have him block for our investment back there. Does that help? Good luck playing from behind with a running back. Like I said the other day, the value, it's ironic though. I love, wait a second, pat on the back. I said in June, the running back class is ridiculous. And the value that you're going to see running backs go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to make you want to vomit compared to the other positions. That's why I want to go trenches, especially D tackle, D ends. Dallas has to come out of this draft with at least 2 defensive tackles and an edge and an offensive tackle. and 2 running backs and a linebacker and a safety. So what? We got D tackle, edge, linebacker, safety, 2 running backs, and then that's 8. We have between 8 to 10. We'll find out sooner. I don't know if I read the wrong thing the other day or not, but it was something like, I think Detroit Lions, they lost both their coordinators. And I read somewhere like they got awarded a comp pick for that. So now we're giving teams comp picks for losing coaches. But the Lions got a 3rd round comp pick. Like they're fucking so loaded already, bro. Let's give them more comp picks. It's crazy. If I was the GM and I saw DeMarcus Lawrence saying we're tired after losing, I would have cut him on the spot. I would have. Well, you know what it is? Honestly, I would have sent them a text message and just say, "Could you respond to the stadium tomorrow?" And have all his shit in his bag outside. I would have cut him via text message. You're gonna laugh. I did want to buy it, and I still might do it. I want to get a Tank jersey and put "I'm tired" on the back for all the Dallas fans who wanted that Tank. And what? Tank made 150 million, and he actually said we were tired. Imagine if a guy like him had a real job. No bueno. It's amazing how some people just get listen, and honestly, part of me doesn't even blame him because he rickrolled Dallas into giving him those deals. And our fan base. Our fan base was happy that we paid our edge that no 31 other teams would have paid $150 million to stop the run. It is what it is, man. No other team would have paid Tank Lawrence $150 million to stop the run and get 3 sacks. He had like 3 good years and get, they would say he has great pressure rate. Whatever, man. It is what it is. Then, like I said, Dallas fans at 12 might as well draft Shamar Stewart. 6'6", 290 at Texas A&M. 2 sacks. Not even. He had 1.5 sacks. A physical freak. A phenom. 6'6", 290. Jacked. And he's probably going to be a top 15 pick. He did have like 44 quarterback pressures, though. I'll give him that. If he could just decide what he wanted, his ceiling is tremendous, bro. But he's also a player I think Dallas has in mind at 12. They could maybe go back. Who knows? As long as it's the trenches, I'm fine. I know Jerry's going to fuck this draft up somehow. 100%. 100%. 8-8, man. Yeah. Jonathan, man. That's a fucking hard, that's a brutal schedule, man. 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Yo, Jonathan, man, I worked nights for 26 years. And I've been retired like 4 years, and my body has never gone back to bro. I'm like a vampire, man. Ask the dudes I rock with, man. I'm sending them draft films. I'm sending them draft prospects at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yo, I'll never forget one morning, man. I was driving home like 7 a.m. And I don't know, bro, I fell asleep at the wheel and I was going right into a tree, man. I woke up, swerved. If I would have ate that tree, I probably would have died. That's why on the ride home, I would always just roll the windows down, have the radio going. But 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., bro. Oh, man, that's because people don't understand. You get home at 8 o'clock in the morning. You got to shower now. Some douche is mowing his lawn. There's the garbage truck waking you up outside. So, Jonathan, I'm telling you, bro, this is what you got to do. You got to get earplugs, man. Earplugs and shut your phone off. Don't do anything mind stimulating any either when you get home. You know, because I don't know if this has ever happened to you, where you go home and now you get a second wind. Like going home and then going home, taking a shower, and then jumping on the iPhone or the computer or the Android is the worst thing for you because now you're stimulating the brain. That's why night shift is no joke, bro. But as crazy as it sounds, though, I preferred it over day shift. Nothing good happens at night, but I'm cool with that. That was fun for me. But it really, and it's yo. This is a statistic, man. People that work night shift, they live like 10 years less. It takes 10 years off your life. It's not normal. Another thing too, it could be you could eat dinner before. One thing I would tell you to do is where if you do go to the gym, you should go to the gym right before going to work. If that'll like keep you amped up. I go to the gym like 6, 7 and straight to work. I learned that in my later years. That'll help you out. My phone was uncensored. Have you ever went to a you know what it is? Picture, not so much, but like sleep wise, you were working and it was just nonstop, 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 adrenaline, nonstop, 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 nonstop. Do you think you're able to go home, take a shower, and jump right into bed? It used to take me like 3, 4 hours to go to sleep, but even now, I was gonna go for sleep studies and stuff like that, but I never did it. I was like, yeah, that's bullshit. It is what it is. It's cool. I get a lot done at night. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in a position now to get up when I want to. You know, my dog wakes. Not really. He's always, I hear him walking around. My doctor wants me to get another job. My blood pressure is high. You say that now, yo, but Fiend, bro, a lot of people are saying salt is nowhere near as bad for you as people think it is. Sugar is a million times worse for you than salt. When guys go to war, they get salt tablets. They don't get sugar tablets. If your body does not have enough salt in it, you will get dehydrated. You will die. Bodybuilders today are not taking salt out of their diets, where years ago they did. Bodybuilders are actually putting salts on their foods and in their beverages. Salt is nowhere, and there's all different types of salt, Himalayan, stuff like that. Blood pressure, I don't know your age, but one thing I got to tell you is you got to get a handle on that. There's a million different blood medications out there because funny story one time I tore my bicep off the bone and rolled up and I went to the hospital and my blood pressure was like 170, 175. They're like, is it like this? I'm like, nah, not usually. I was I was hurting. Uh but the blood pressure, the bad part about that is over time it'll fry your kidneys. It will, high blood pressure will fry your kidneys, man. They'll tell your doctor, man, like, yo, get me another job, man. Because what I was saying also about the night shift, you can eat the most healthiest. You can eat egg whites and spinach at 3 a.m. Your body's not meant to eat at 3 a.m. People just don't. I legit had relationships ruined because I was on night shift and they were on day shift. You know what I'm saying? It all worked out for the best though, trust me. Not me. I could hit the pillow after 16 hours and I didn't remember hitting. My son's like that, man. It's I used to laugh. I used to laugh out, bro. My youngest is like that. To be young again, bro. He hits the pillow 3 seconds, he's out. Yo, real quick, anybody, if you're ever taking a psychological exam and they ask you this question, because they ask that question on every psych exam, always say yeah. When I go home, I go to sleep in 5 minutes. Because if you tell them you don't, then they say that that's a bad answer. Even though psychs are like someone's basic their opinion of you, say, yeah, I go home and I fall asleep. I fall asleep real fast. When I was younger, I was able to fall asleep like that. It's just as I got older, developed sleep issues. But your body changes over time. My whole life, I ate shellfish, bro, shrimp, lobster, crab. Eh, who doesn't like lobster? Shrimp, mussels, scallops was my favorite meal. One time I had a lobster, my face was like this, legit. I woke up 2 days later in the hospital. I went into anaphylactic shock and everything. Doctor's like, what's up? I go, you tell me. I had a physical the week prior. I mean, like everything. Doctor was like, your body changes every 7 years, so you're allergic to shellfish. And it's the iodine that's in the shellfish. That's why you got to be careful because there's a lot of supplements out there like chondroitin stuff like that. There's even a lot of over-the-counter fat burners that have crushed shellfish in it. So you got to be careful. But my youngest is allergic to peanuts, so I always have an EpiPen in the car. One time I was at work, and it's like 11 o'clock at night, and me being dumb, I just went to a different section of I worked, and the guys were eating Chinese food. They're like, "You want an egg roll?" And me being dumb, and I said, "Yeah." And I take a bite, take another bite. I look down, and I see a shrimp in it, and I'm like, "You dumb mother effer! This isn't an egg roll; it's a spring roll." I wanted to kill the kid. Went to my car. I popped like legit, like my throat was closing. I popped like 10 Benadryl, and I still had a few more hours left to work. And then I went home and I hit myself. I did just to be safe on the safe side. When I was going to bed, I hit myself with the EpiPen. You need salt, 100%. Salt is used to get your fluids. Let me tell you something, man. You'd be shocked, especially as us old guys. We get older. How many times, like a lot of guys, they drop from being not hydrated, from being dehydrated. You just pass out. It happens a lot. So listen, salt is nowhere near as bad as it's portrayed to be, especially in the past. Okay, perfect example is cholesterol. Cholesterol is genetics, bro. It is what it is, bro. You're gonna get whatever your parents had. Sometimes stuff does skip a generation. I don't look like a doctor, but I did sleep at a Holiday Inn and Express last night. But then also blood pressure, a lot of it could be, your job, your life, what you do, everything all fits and twines with everything. But blue light, the number one enemy for sleep. I have to black out and silence. See, like I need I need like a noise. I need some type of noise, like rain noise or something like that. And that usually just knocks me out. Biggest health risk most people is water intake, underhydrated, 100%. People don't realize how much their body is made of water. They don't. How many people? I used to work with a dude, no joke. He used to walk around with a pot of coffee, a pot, legit. He used to drink like 3 to 4 pots of coffee a day. Funny story, bro. I used to bounce with him on weekends, right? And I used to get pissed off, man, that he would always show up late, but he outranked me by a lot. So he would always show up late. I mean, like really late. So I used to try that. I go, screw it. I'm going to start showing up late. So I would show up late, and then he still wouldn't be there. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? So one day, I just wanted to prove something to him. And I, I, I beat him. I showed up and he was there. I go, wow. Yeah, He used to show up like 2 hours late for everything, this dude. But yeah, 3 to 4 coffee pots a day this dude used to drink. Not good. Not good. Not good. Biggest health risk. Did Fifth go live? Did anyone go live tonight or no? It's been a quiet week. Tomorrow works. We're coming down the stretch. Like I said, I've started ranking my people this week because I know my top people are going to be there. So I don't see it changing. I've started my rankings, and like I said, tomorrow we got the HBC Legacy Bowl, Combine the following week. And then after that, you're only going to have pro days. I don't see things changing. I don't. So I will have my rankings out for everybody 30 players per position, plus sleepers, way before the beast comes out. Crazy. We were the first to even talk about free agency and salary cap, and now everyone is talking about it. Yeah. Just like we watch them, they watch us. It's just a game, man. It is what it is. Don't even let them bother you. It's not worth it. It's really not. I remember when I first started this, I think it was talking crazy and had an idea for something. And and Corner was like, he's like, yo, you better keep that quiet. Somebody else is gonna steal it. And I was like, I'm old new. Listen, I'm honest, man. I'm new to this, you know. This draft, it'll be my second draft, but first draft year of having videos. Last year's draft was it's all on my page, but you got to go into the community section. All my sleepers. Well, it's Corner's show, so we could do whatever he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about anything. Talking crazy. Listen, man, I'm easy, bro. I go with the flow. Whatever people want to talk about, I can talk about anything. So whatever. Yeah, I never watched them either. I don't. If it wasn't for this group chat, I wouldn't know. No, I hear you. I'm the same way, man. I used to watch a few channels. I ain't gonna lie. Like when we had that C word, we were all locked in. I was watching a couple of channels, but then like I realized how they just straight lied to us for years. They were just lying and sticking up for Dak and never saying a bad word about him. And I called them out on it. Yeah. Well, one thing I'll tell you about me, it's like hate me now or love me forever. Because what you see is what you get. I'll give you it straight off my back. But if I think you're like trying to screw me over, or if I think you're trying to get over on me, or if I think you're saying bullshit, I'm going to call you out on it. And I called those guys out on it. I'm like, bro, how are you saying like all these positives about someone and they're straight horrendous, or the team, or the Joneses? We know why now. What are you going to do? It is what it is. I'm thinking outside the box about needs in the draft. Listen, Fiend, it's great to think outside the box, but I think this draft is pretty reasonable our needs. Our needs are defensive tackles, edges, and offensive linemen, maybe two. If it depends if we get a comp pick or not. Two running backs, two, two safeties, or one safety and a linebacker. O line, O line, O line, O line. I agree with you 1,000%, but we're not going to be able to get the players we want. Can I get you a day 3 offensive tackle? Yeah. Out of the first 3 picks, can I get you one offensive lineman? Yeah. I don't have a problem. I don't. Out of one of our first 3 picks, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem drafting a left tackle. But all I'm trying to say is, like, it's black and white, this draft, on what its strengths are versus weaknesses. So you have to capitalize on its strengths. That's like you going into a restaurant and they're saying, yeah, the roast beef sandwich is the best, but you want bologna. But yet it's known for roast beef. You go in there and there's 50 people eating roast beef, but you want to eat bologna. Yo, fried bologna's great, bro. With cheese on a sandwich, with tomato soup, bro. Here's the trick, though. With the tomato soup, you got to use milk and not water. So what the analogy is, like this is black and white. You have to go with plus. Ironically, this draft strengths is our strength is what our needs are. How ironic is that? So that's why I got no problem coming out of this draft with 2, 3. We need 2 running backs at a minimum. So let's just say hypothetically, day 3, there are speedster wide receivers out there. Is wide receiver? What do you think? I mean, does everyone think? Does our fan base think a wide receiver is a higher need than offensive line or defensive line now, or running back? I'd just like to hear some answers. Does anyone think a wide receiver is higher of a need than defensive line, offensive line, or running back? I agree with you, Jonathan Martinez, but the reason the Philadelphia has their running game, it's that offensive line they got. What's the 2 things? Okay, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry switch teams and blow up. What's the one common thing they both had? Much improved offensive lines. So was it really them or the offensive lines that did all the work? It was they fit together. You know what I'm saying? Also, like Kansas City Chiefs went to 3 straight Super Bowls with a round 7 running back. Do we really need to spend a first round pick on a running back when our offensive line is a mess? A mess. I'm telling you, bro. And I'm not a Terrence Steele fan at all, but Terrence, and this is scary thought, and it's February 21st at 22:48 hours. Remember this. Terrence Steele always played 10 times worse when Zach Martin was not next to him. Remember that. Remember that? You just heard that here. I can't see him coming back. I'm sorry, but that's just me. Yeah, they do have Redskins got legit three of the best tackles, three of the best defensive tackles in the league. Ironic. They drafted in the second round the Redskins last year. My defensive tackle number one last year, Johnny Newton from the University of Illinois. Go look back to last year. See who had Newton from Illinois as the number one defensive tackle. Nobody except me. Bro, Newton, Johnny Newton, or it could be Jazia Newton, defensive tackle Illinois. Last year was a straight one-man army. He played on a horrible team. And bro, I seen him shut down Ohio State. I seen him shut down Michigan's. Like they legit could not run on him. He's by himself. I'm like, this kid is a monster. Yo. People laughed at me. Like I said, everything, all last year's draft rankings, all in my community section. I put him number one. So far, so good. I also had guys that made my top 10 who went undrafted and made teams and started and contributed. That's how I am. If I like someone, I like someone. I march to my own drum. March to beat my own drum. Did I make mistakes? Yeah, but everyone does. But if you can look at your draft and have an 80% hit rate, that's pretty good. Unfortunately, I would draft because I think it would be fun. Haha. Yeah, he's a freak. He is a freak. To be honest with you, though, Kellen Moore picking 9. He ain't getting past Kellen Moore. You want McMillan, you're gonna have to go ahead of. You're gonna have to go ahead of Kellen Moore. Saints. What? They got Olave, Chris Olave. Trying to think, and I don't think they have really anyone else. Trade back. I can see that. I can see Dallas doing that too. To get an extra, maybe third round, fourth rounder. The problem with trading back this year, OG, is the fact that it's such a below average year that it's better. This is a better year to trade up than trade back. A lot of teams are not looking to trade back. How can I phrase this? You're not going to get a value. Where trading back in like last year's draft would get you a third, and this year's draft it'd be like, yeah, we'll give you a fifth, because there's maybe 10, like people have like 10 guys with a first round grade, 12 guys. I got like 12 dudes with a first round grade. 2025 is a wasted year. Uncensored Cowboy. I agree with you 100%. If they don't see a long-term starter on the board, trade back, pick for 26. I agree with you 100%, but this year, I think it might be hard to trade back. Harder than usual. Hall of Fame Dak. I'm not a legend killer. Yo, man, it's all a joke. It's all good, man. You can see my Uncle Rico shirt for Romo, man. It's all good. It's all good, bro. Kellen Moore's a bum. All right, but Hall of Fame Dak, let me ask you a question. And imagine if history repeats itself. Sean Payton won a Super Bowl with New Orleans after getting booed out of Giant Stadium because Sean Payton was a coach, offensive coordinator with the New York Giants. Got booed out of Giant Stadium. Then he got booed out of, hold on one second. I lasted an hour and 40 minutes until I got something. I got to drink something. I'm back. Got my Gatorade Zero. Imagine if history repeats itself. Sean Payton got booed out of Giant Stadium as an OC. Sean Payton got booed out of Texas because when Parcells was here, Sean Payton was the OC, and Parcells would rip him apart on the sidelines in front of everybody, and he would be calling like some weird ass calls that never made sense. Sean Payton left, wins the Super Bowl with the Saints. If Kellen Moore, he got his ring with Philadelphia, but now if Kellen Moore goes, well, Kellen Moore's out the Saints. If Kellen Moore wins a Super Bowl with the Saints, will all the Dak lovers finally say we all were wrong this whole time? For all of us who bashed Helen Moore, I call him Kellen, same thing. I bashed him. I was one of the biggest bashers of him. But for all the Dak fans, if Kellen Moore wins a Super Bowl in San Fran, I mean it with the Saints, will all the Dak lovers finally say we were wrong? Dak was horrible. Dak, it wasn't the coaches, it was Dak. Yo, let's be honest. Saints don't play in the toughest division in the NFL, man. They need a D tackle. I mean, they need a few pieces, but they don't play in a strong division. So they can compete for playoffs early. They need a D tackle. They need some defensive linemen. I mean, offensive linemen, I meant. And they need wide receivers. But they could start competing. But like I said, will all these content creators and all these fans admit they were wrong if Kellen Moore wins the Super Bowl with the Saints? And ironically, that'll be the Dallas Cowboys' second assistant coach to leave the franchise and win a Super Bowl. I don't know, man. A lot of people in this world, and I'm sorry, I think that's a bad trait to have. A lot of people in this world have a problem admitting they were wrong. Like you, especially your wife or your girlfriend, something like that. They never admit they made a mistake. Purely joking, purely joking. But seriously, a lot of businessmen, guys, anything. A lot of people in general just have a problem to admit, say, "Yeah, I was wrong. I made a mistake." But so we could call Dak the legend killer, the coach killer. But like I said, it's all fun and jokes. We got Uncle Rico. That's Tony Romo, man. You know, you got to be able to laugh at things in life. Life is way too serious. Trade back. We need like 4 to 5 starters. Yeah, I agree with you, Fiend, OG. We do need 4 to 5 starters at minimum. Good evening, Mike. Do you think we will be better or worse this season than we were last season? I think we're going to be worse. I think we're going to be worse this season. I truly do. Don't ask me how. It just seems like we have a harder schedule. I think just because the rotation of divisions, because they rotate, like you play your division games and your non-division games, like the other division teams, it's on a rotation of years. So it just seems like this year's rotation. It just seems like this year's schedule is harder than last year's schedule. Uh, I said last year before the season started, when everybody was going nuts over Cooper Beebe and Tyler Guyton, I said, when you have an offensive line and a young offensive line, it takes a couple of years because as an offensive lineman, not only do I have to know what I'm doing, I have to know what everyone else is doing. And now they're learning a brand new offense. And Dallas went out and hired Kansas State's offensive line coach. Well, listen, I don't know long term, but recently he has produced Avila, who plays guard for the Rams out of Kansas State, and then Cooper Beebe. So he might be a sleeper and get these kids going. So, and I think of I don't Avila wasn't a first round pick for the Rams. He was like a second or a third. And he was playing right next to Cooper Beebe at Kansas State. So, but Dallas went out and hired Kansas State's offensive line coach. So we'll see what happens. But but Mike, I think we're going to be worse, man. I see personally. I think 3-4 wins is average. I could see 3 to 4 because listen, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but we're gonna have there's gonna you have that many young players playing. It's either really, really good or really, really bad. So this young staff is either gonna there's nothing in the middle. It's either going to be 2 to 3 wins or double digit wins. Nothing in the middle. But also, the problem with young kids like these rookies is they're used to playing like 10, 11 games, 12 games. Even the best rookies hit the rookie wall. Osa Adikizu's first year in the NFL, he played like 27 games. I forgot. I think we made it to the second round of the playoffs his rookie year. And legit, yeah, I think, yeah, Osa was on the team when we beat Tampa and we played San Fran, I think. And Osa legit played, and I legit played like every down of preseason games. Hello, if you think this kid is your 3 tech, why are you having him take that many snaps in all the preseason games? I don't care who you are, bro. If you Stretch Armstrong, you're gonna wear down. But just in general, you're gonna wear down from the rookie wall. And then you're throwing 4 games on them. That was when we had 4 game preseasons. Dak lovers, Hall of Fame Dak 69. Dak lovers will protect Dak at all costs. Pretty much. Dak lovers were capable of learning. Would it be Dak lovers? That's so true. That is so true. That is so true. Dak has trouble beating good teams. How the hell can he win? Yeah, Dave Thompson. I agree with you. Listen, and I've said this for years. Well, I've said this for the last year and took some heat for it, but The 3, 12, and 15 seasons we had, name me one good team we beat. I'll just sit back and wait. The 3, 12, and the 3, 12, and 5. The 3, 12, and 5 seasons we had, I meant. Name me a good team that we beat. You can't. We beat up on the bottom feeders of the world, and shut up. I live in the city. Okay, but in those years, what was Philadelphia's record? In those years, were the Eagles even a playoff team? So 22. Okay, so the Eagles were a wild card team in 22, probably 9-7, 10-6. Like I said, I don't think we beat one good team those 3 years. This is my opinion. Everyone has an opinion. Every good team crushed us. Let's be honest. Even some unknowns would crush us. Crush us. Am I throwing everything on Dak? No. We didn't stop the run all those 3 years. So a lot of that shit I throw on Dan Quinn. Never was a Dan Quinn from day one. And I don't care what he did this past season in Washington. I don't care what he does next year in Washington. I don't care what he does the year after in Washington. Dan Quinn's legacy when he leaves the NFL is going to be blowing that lead in the Super Bowl. Remember that. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. You are the most on Hall of Fame. Dak 69 said, "Yo, man, you're the most honest Cowboys fan I've seen." Salute. Thank you, bro. Listen, man, it's tough, man. I bleed blue and silver. My dad, whole family bleeds blue and silver. For the holidays, like I got sisters. The dudes they married, they were Giant fans. One of the rules was no football talk at the dinner table because it would get heated. And it's like, come on, bro, you're gonna pay the Giants in Dallas, bro. But yeah, man, I grew up. My dad was a huge Dallas fan, and made me a Dallas fan. My sons are Dallas fans. And one of the reasons, listen, I've been a draft fanatic my whole life, but I bleed blue and silver. But I just can't come up here. Just like every other draft channel you tune into, every time you tune into them, they talk about Austin Gentry and Amika Ibuka, Luther Burden, Victoria McMillan. I can't come on here and talk about the same person every single day. That's one of the reasons why I've dropped 701 draft prospects already. And I'll probably have a few more after tomorrow's HBCU legacy game. Throughout the points of the year, I've jumped into the HBCU 2 or 3 times, putting out prospects. I got close to 100. You'd be shocked how many HBCU players are in the NFL. But I'm sure I'll have at least 5 more tomorrow. But yeah, of course I'm an honest. Like, I got listen, bro. I'm not here asking for, I don't have my Cash App posted saying, yo, send me money. You know, Dave Thomas, Eagles hung 55 on Dan Quinn. Not a Dan Quinn fan. Jonathan Martinez. I saw the Dallas Cowboys draft show, and somehow they picked the Dallas Cowboys draft show is a joke. And the crazy thing is, I haven't even watched it this year. I've watched it in years past. It looked like something out of like a movie. The cast that they've had on there in years, it looks like, okay, we're gonna go to the subway, pick somebody up. Let's go to the homeless shelter, grab somebody. Let's go to the detox center, grab somebody. Then let's go to a rehab and throw some. Yo, in years past, it's been a rough bunch up there, and that's not like bad mouthing. That's just saying like I was comparing those people to the content they spit out. So these are people who go to the Senior Bowl, go to the shrines, have access to all that stuff. And they're like, yeah, oof, oof, oof. It's tough. I'm at 200. What are you at? Yeah, I'm grinding. I'm at 210. Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? 200 people? Are you fucking kidding me? And I apologize for cursing. Bro, how does all of a sudden you don't watch college football, but every February you turn into a draft analyst? That's like, what's a good analogy I can use? That's like you're a bricklayer for like 10 months out of the year. And the other 2 months out of the year, you're an IT tech. Kind of opposites of the spectrum. One's computers, the other one's manual labor. They want to watch 2 games on people when so many of these kids, there's 6 years of tape on a lot of these kids. But yet, you're going to watch 2 games on somebody and you're going to rank them? You think that's even a fair rankings? But yo, keep doing what you're doing because look at my 2024 rankings versus their 2024 rankings. Compare when I put out my 2025 draft rankings compared to their 2025. They're going to give you 10 interior offensive linemen. I'm going to give you 30 tackles, 30 guards, 30 centers. And it's a below average year of offensive line. That show is just. I think once the old guy leaves that show's gonna crash and burn. But one of the reasons I don't watch that show is I'm not contributing a single cent to the Joneses. Until they change, I'm not going to change. I'm not. 30 years of nothing. The Cowboy standard is you win a Super Bowl or the season was a failure. That's it. They've been sticking it to us for the last 30 years. They troll us. They think they're better than us because they got money. They're billionaires and they look down on us and they laugh at us. And I've said it once, I'll say it again. You can only hurt the Joneses one way, and that's in the pocket. So when they change, I'll start tuning into them more. And I'll be dropping a show tomorrow for the HBCU Legacy Bowl recap, and I'll be doing a few more prospects to close out. And we all know I'm going to close out. We're rocking. We hit the 2-hour mark. Thank everybody who jumped to the chat. Because we all know when you're rocking with the GWO, for life, over and out. Thank you, everybody.